Why Democritus Laughed by Robert Burton. When Hippocrates was now come to Abdera, the people of the city came flocking about him, some weeping, some entreating of him that he would do his best. After some little repast, he went to see Democritus, the people following him, whom he found as before in his garden in the suburbs, all alone, sitting upon a stone under a plane tree without hose or shoes, with a book on his knees, cutting up several beasts, and busy at his study. The multitude stood gazing round about to see the congress. Hippocrates, after a little pause, saluted him by his name, whom he re-saluted, ashamed almost that he could not call him likewise by his, or that he had forgot it. Hippocrates demanded of him what he was doing. He told him that he was busy in cutting up several beasts to find out the cause of madness and melancholy. Hippocrates commended his work, admiring his happiness and leisure. "And why," quoth Democritus, "have not you that leisure?" "Because," replied Hippocrates, "domestical affairs hinder necessary to be done for ourselves, neighbors, friends, expenses, diseases, frailties, and mortalities which happen, wife, children, servants, and such businesses that deprive us of our time." At this speech Democritus profusely laughed, his friends and the people standing by, weeping in the meantime, and lamenting his madness. Hippocrates asked the reason why he laughed. He told him, "At the vanity and fopperies of the time, to see men so empty of all virtuous actions, to hunt so far after gold, having no end of ambition, to take such infinite pains for a little glory, and to be favored of men, to make such deep mines into the earth for gold, and many times to find nothing, with loss of their lives and fortunes. Some to love dogs, others horses, some to desire to be obeyed in many provinces, and yet themselves will know no obedience. Some to love their wives dearly at first, and after a while to forsake and hate them, begetting children with much care and cost for their education, yet when they grow to man's estate, to despise, neglect, and leave them naked to the world's mercy. Do not these behaviors express their intolerable folly? When men live in peace, they covet war, detesting quietness, deposing kings and advancing others in their stead, murdering some men to beget children of their wives. How many strange humors are in men! When they are poor and needy, they seek riches, and when they have them, they do not enjoy them, but hide them underground, or else wastefully spend them. O wise Hippocrates, I laugh at such things being done, but much more when no good comes of them, and when they are done to so ill purpose. There is no truth or justice found amongst them, for they daily plead one against another, the son against the father and the mother, brother against brother, kindred and friends of the same quality. And all this for riches, whereof after death they cannot be possessors. And yet, notwithstanding, they will defame and kill one another, commit all unlawful actions, contemning God and men, friends and country. They make great account of many senseless things, esteeming them as a great part of their treasure, statues, pictures, and such like movables, dear bought and so cunningly wrought as nothing but speech wanteth in them. And yet they hate living persons speaking to them. Others affect difficult things. If they dwell on firm land, they will remove to an island, and thence to land again, being no way constant to their desires. They commend courage and strength in wars, and let themselves be conquered by lust and avarice. They are, in brief, as disordered in their mind as Thersites was in his body. And now methinks, O most worthy Hippocrates, you should not reprehend my laughing, perceiving so many fooleries in men. For no man will mock his own folly, but that which he seeth in a second, and so they justly mock one another. The drunkard calls him a glutton whom he knows to be sober. Many men love the sea, others husbandry. Briefly, they cannot agree in their own trades and professions, much less in their lives and actions." When Hippocrates heard these words so readily uttered, without premeditation, to declare the world's vanity, full of ridiculous contrariety, he made answer that necessity compelled men to many such actions and divers wills ensuing from divine permission, that we might not be idle, being nothing so odious to them as sloth and negligence. Besides, men cannot foresee future events in this uncertainty of human affairs. They would not marry if they could foretell the causes of their dislike and separation. Or parents, if they knew the hour of their children's death, so tenderly provide for them. Or an husbandman sow if he thought there would be no increase. Or a merchant adventure to sea if he foresaw shipwreck. Or be a magistrate if presently to be deposed. Alas, worthy Democritus, every man hopes the best, and to that end he doth it, and therefore no such cause or ridiculous occasion of laughter. Democritus, hearing this poor excuse, laughed again aloud, perceiving he wholly mistook him, and did not well understand what he had said concerning perturbations and tranquillity of the mind, insomuch that if men would govern their actions by discretion and providence, they would not declare themselves fools as now they do, and he should have no cause of laughter. But, quoth he, they swell in this life as if they were immortal and demigods for want of understanding. It were enough to make them wise if they would but consider the mutability of this world and how it wheels about, nothing being firm and sure. He that is now above tomorrow is beneath. He that sat on this side today, tomorrow is hurled on the other. And not considering these matters, they fall into many inconveniences and troubles, coveting things of no profit and thirsting after them, tumbling headlong into many calamities. So that if men would attempt no more than what they can bear, they should lead contented lives, and learning to know themselves would limit their ambition. They would perceive then that nature hath enough without seeking such superfluities and unprofitable things, which bring nothing with them but grief and molestation. As a fat body is more subject to diseases, so are rich men to absurdities and fooleries, to many casualties and cross inconveniences. There are many that take no heed what happeneth to others by bad conversation, and therefore overthrow themselves in the same manner through their own fault, not foreseeing dangers manifest. These are things, oh, more than mad, quoth he, that give me matter of laughter, by suffering the pains of your impieties, as your avarice, envy, malice, enormous villainies, mutinies, insatiable desires, conspiracies, and other incurable vices. Besides, your dissimulation and hypocrisy, bearing deadly hatred one to the other, and yet shadowing it with a good face, flying out into all filthy lusts and transgressions of all laws, both of nature and civility. Many things which they have left off after a while they fall to again, husbandry, navigation, and leave again, fickle and inconstant as they are. When they are young, they would be old, and old, young. Princes commend a private life. Private men itch after honor. A magistrate commends a quiet life. A quiet man would be in his office and obeyed as he is. And what is the cause of all this, but that they know not themselves? Some delight to destroy, one to build, another to spoil one country to enrich another and himself. In all these things they are like children, in whom is no judgment or counsel, and resemble beasts, saving that beasts are better than they, as being contented with nature. When shall you see a lion hide gold in the ground, or a bull contend for a better pasture? When a boar is thirsty, he drinks what will serve him, and no more, and when his belly is full, he ceaseth to eat. But men are immoderate in both. As in lust they covet carnal copulation at set times, men always ruinating thereby the health of their bodies. And doth it not deserve laughter to see an amorous fool torment himself for a wench, weep, howl for a misshapen slut, a dowdy sometimes that might have his choice of the finest beauties? Is there any remedy for this in physic? I do anatomize and cut up these poor beasts, to see these distempers, vanities, and follies. Yet such proof were better made on man's body, if my kind nature would endure it, who from the hour of his birth is most miserable, weak, and sickly. When he sucks, he is guided by others. When he is grown great, practiseth unhappiness, and is sturdy. And when old, a child again, and repenteth him of his life past. And here, being interrupted by one that brought books, he fell to it again that all were mad, careless, stupid. To prove my former speeches, look into courts or private houses. Judges give judgment according to their own advantage, doing manifest wrong to poor innocents to please others. Notaries alter sentences, and for money lose their deeds. Some make false monies, others counterfeit false weights. Some abuse their parents, yea, corrupt their own sisters. Others make long libels and pasquils, defaming men of good life, and extol such as are lewd and vicious. Some rob one, some another. Magistrates make laws against thieves, and are the various thieves themselves. Some kill themselves, others despair, not obtaining their desires. Some dance, sing, laugh, feast, and banquet, while others sigh, languish, mourn, and lament, having neither meat, drink, nor clothes. Some prank up their bodies and have their minds full of execrable vices. Some trot about to bear false witness and say anything for money. And though judges know of it, yet for a bribe they wink at it and suffer false contracts to prevail against equity. Women are all day addressing to pleasure other men abroad, and go like sluts at home, not caring to please their own husbands whom they should. Seeing men are so fickle, so sottish, so intemperate, why should not I laugh at those to whom folly seems wisdom, will not be cured, and perceive it not? It grew late, Hippocrates left him, and no sooner was he come away, but all the citizens came about flocking to know how he liked him. He told them in brief that notwithstanding those small neglects of his attire, body, diet, the world had not a wiser, a more learned, a more honest man, and they were very much deceived to say that he was mad. Thus Democritus esteemed of the world in his time, and this was the cause of his laughter. And good cause he had. Democritus did well to laugh of old, good cause he had, but now much more. This life of ours is more ridiculous than that of his, or long before.